Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Sidelines and Scriptures here, back with another video. It's been a minute, been busy. Um, we're back to doing something new here. So, the NFL draft happened, the offseason is now pretty much officially over. Teams have got their players in place for who they want next year. And really early power rankings are starting to come out. And we see here that Super Bowl odds are out, y'all. Once Super Bowl odds are out, it's pretty much set in stone that there's already a pretty good idea of what teams have in place and what people are thinking about them. I mean, you look here, you've got a team like the Arizona Cardinals who are plus 40,000 and the Dolphins are plus 30,000. I'd like to see, according to what odds these are, but this is a pretty trustworthy site and sharp football analysis. But let's go ahead and hop into this and just see what is going on here with this analysis and give some of my analysis as well. But number one, with the best Super Bowl odds right now, we have the Los Angeles Rams. I definitely think the Rams are a top 5 team. They proved themselves during the regular season. Their offense is fantastic. Of course, they have Puka Nacua. They had an interesting draft, to say the least. Ty Simpson at 13, I felt was a bit rich. Max Clare in the second round was a little bit of a reach in my opinion, and also they have starting caliber tight ends, but I don't know if their draft class was what they needed to elevate them into a true this is the best team and it's not close. I think the Seahawks are right there. I think the Bills are right there. We'll talk about those teams in a little bit. But yeah, hopefully Puka Nacua is ready to go, and hopefully Ty Simpson can sit behind Stafford for a year and do his thing. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are good. No surprise there. Their draft was interesting. They took running back out of Notre Dame. Not the running back out of Notre Dame, but they did take Jadarian Price with the 32nd overall pick. Thought it was a good pick. Charbonnet, we don't know what's up with him. Price will come in and start and do well. They're a good team. They're going to compete and do what they did last year. Their defense is elite. Same crew coming back on offense for the most part. Can JSN have that wide receiver one finish again? We'll see. Seahawks are really good. We'll see how that Super Bowl curse goes. Really hard to bounce back, and some teams kind of hit a lull, but Seahawks here looking like they'll be pretty good next year. We've got the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are a very, very peculiar team, mainly because it's Josh Allen against the world. They did bring in DJ Moore, which is great. He's the best receiver they've had since Stephon Diggs. I think he has the ability to play at the level that Stephon Diggs did his maybe last year or so in Buffalo. We'll see if Josh and him have a good connection. I feel good about him as wide receiver one, though. They also did get Skylar Bell out of UConn here, who is good. He's a big body receiver, good route runner. I don't know if he's a chain mover that would continue to help them working into the intermediate part of the field. I do feel, however, though, that with the additions of Shakir coming back and Keon Coleman's not there, I don't think he's going to ever really be a guy that you feel comfortable with. But the Bills are the Bills. You know what they're going to get with them. Can Josh Allen compete in the postseason? That's pretty much what it comes down to. This, I feel, is very rich for the Packers here. Of course, Michael Parsons, he has to be healthy. Jordan Love has to be healthy. I am a little down on Jordan Love compared to a lot of other people are that I've learned. I think Love is a good player. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. And with the talent around him, what they have at receiver, Christian Watson has to stay healthy. From a, reception and route ratio, looking at how many times a player is on the field and the success that they have when they're on the field, Christian Watson is high on the list. He just doesn't stay healthy. He's a really good receiver. He could have a top 15 fantasy finish when all is said and done if he can play 17 games. The Packers are a good team. I don't agree with this. I don't think they're the fourth best team in the NFL. They did have a good draft. They didn't have a first-round pick, but they did address some defensive needs in the second round. However, this is rich. Pick number 5, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. I like the Chargers. I like them a lot. They took Max Iheanacho, who I really like, and the tackles are back. Their defense is really good. Can Justin Herbert produce? Can Lad McConkey kind of have that bounce back season that I think a lot of us are hoping for? I am really surprised that the Broncos are in at 6, especially with the addition of Jalen Waddle. Waddle was what you were missing last year. You were really missing a guy that could stretch the field. Cortland Sutton is good. He's not Jalen Waddle. I think Waddle will have really good numbers here in Denver. If Bo Nix can bounce back from the injury that he had, I think he is good enough to lead a Super Bowl team. He's a good quarterback, and you don't need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl. However, the rest of the team around you has to really be elite. It has to be pretty much perfect. Their defense is almost that. You get Jalen Waddle. I like the Broncos here. I would definitely have them above the other two teams that are above them. 7, we've got the Ravens. Of course, when you got Lamar Jackson in town, he's gonna win you games. He's got to be healthy. I like what they did on defense. They brought in Trey Hendrickson. It looks like Nnamdi Madubuike will be okay after that neck injury. Losing Harbaugh is unfortunate. Losing your coaching staff is never a really good thing. The only thing that matters is if these guys can come in. You've got I'm forgetting their head coach, but if their guy can come in and be good, this will be a good team. I would have liked to see them address receiver a little more. Zay Flowers is obviously still there. They did take a couple of mid-round wide receivers that I think could be somewhat beneficial to them. However, I don't think the Ravens win the AFC North. I think that if they want to win the AFC North, they need another receiver. It's as simple as that. You don't have Isaiah Likely anymore. Can Mark Andrews be Mark Andrews of 2021 and 2022? I don't think so. Derrick Henry, really good. He's getting up there in age. He's not an every down back. He's not a pass catcher. The Ravens have the talent at the top, but then the rest of the team, to me, doesn't add up. A team that I don't like to talk about because they're unfortunately good every year is the Philadelphia Eagles. Getting John Grenard was big. They traded a couple of day 2 picks for him. I like it. He's a good edge rusher. He didn't have a great season this past year, but the 2 years before that, he was fantastic coming off the edge. He's a guy that's going to get you sacks. He's a guy that's going to get you pressures. And they signed Reek Woolen. I don't know how I feel about Reek Woolen. I don't really know if you need him. Of course, you don't have Reed Blankenship in that DB room anymore. I don't know. A.J. Brown's on his way out. He's going to be a New England Patriot. Bringing Mekhi Lemon in is awesome. Lemon is a great player, as much as I hate to say it because he's on the Eagles. I love Mekhi Lemon. I think he's going to come in. I think he's going to be able to play that Z. I think he's going to be able to give you routes at X if you even need him to. I think he can work out the slot. He's a very dynamic receiver, and I think the whole reason the Eagles took him is because they know that they need to do something on offense, because last year Saquon Barkley was not what Saquon Barkley was of 2023, 2024. Barkley is a fantastic player. He can't get 300 touches in today's NFL, especially with coming off of a terrible injury in a ACL. I love A.J. Brown as a Giants fan. I hate to say it. He's a great player. We'll talk about the Patriots a little bit later. But the Eagles here, I don't know if I agree with 8th overall. A team that I would personally put above them would be the Houston Texans. I'm a big Texans guy. The question mark about the Texans is, can C.J. Stroud make the playoffs? That's all it comes down to. Because if you get this team in the playoffs, right, we saw it last year, they're going to compete. They signed Will Anderson to a ridiculous contract extension. And there really aren't any holes on this team. You bring in David Montgomery to kind of fill that void that you need at running back. You need a guy to give you carries. Their O-line looks good. Their defensive line looks great. Their secondary is great. They've got receivers. They've got guys they can get the ball to. I really like the Houston Texans to make a Super Bowl push next year. Number 10, we've got the New England Patriots. This is the biggest crime of the video. Of course, they're going to have A.J. Brown. Drake May is so good. He's so fantastic. I don't care what you say about, last year they didn't play anyone good. Drake May is a stud in this league. And when he has the ball in his hands, he makes plays. The run game is a little bit of a question mark. Ramondre and Travion Henderson are the punch. I think you're hoping that Henderson kind of can work in between the tackles more as a running back and get into these spaces that you would normally want Ramondre in. Ramondre is not a bad back by any means, but he's not a game changer. The Patriots are a good team. Their defense is really good. If everyone stays healthy, this is another team that can make a push. Of course, there's this whole Mike Vrabel stuff going on. Really sad stuff. You know, um, basically cheating on his wife. Just not great things. If he's still the head coach, um, the team's going to be competitive. If he's not the head coach, I still think the team's going to be competitive. I don't think this is a Gerard Mayo scenario. This team is too talented to not make the playoffs. We've got the Lions here. I like the Blake Miller pick at, I think, 17. Some people think it's high. I don't think it was. He's a great player. He's going to come in and start at right tackle and fill that hole. Sewell's going to move over to the left side. Be great there. Um, you need someone to step in that role that Monty did. Of course, you brought over Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know how well he'll fit that role. He's not a great finder of, getting to where the defense isn't. Of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs are two of the elite offensive players in the league. Their defense last year was lackluster. They're a good team, and I think they'll compete. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think this is a good range for them. Wow. This is a little rich for the Bengals here, I think. Of course, you've got Dexter Lawrence in town now. Great player. You pass up the 10th pick. I don't know if at the end of the day if that was a great trade. I would have liked to see the Bengals stick at 10 and take Caleb Downs. I think Dexter Lawrence right now probably has more of an impact on the game than Caleb Downs does immediately. But Downs is such a good player, and I don't think the Bengals are in a situation where you can win the Super Bowl. I think they kind of want to be Super Bowl or bust. And I think this team defensively still has too many holes. It's a great offense. Of course, they're going to put up so many points. But at the end of the day, you've got to do something about this defense that doesn't produce at a level that is necessary to get these teams in the playoffs. Dexter Lawrence is great. The edge, not so much. We're not so sure what we're going to get out of Shamar Stewart. But when we look at where these guys are in a vacuum against the rest of the league, they don't fit. I might be a little bit more down on the Bengals than some are until they prove that this defense can be above a top 25 even defense. I'll start believing some of the hype. The Niners at 13. I don't know how to feel about the Niners coming up this year. It's a really old team. Of course, you've still got McCaffrey at running back. If he's healthy, he's fantastic. I think we might have seen healthy Christian McCaffrey stay healthy. Hopefully we're over this kind of hump of injury for him. The league is better when he's healthy. He's a fantastic player. And I wonder if the Niners kind of transition from a veteran-led team to kind of what they did in the draft, because they had some weird reaches, and a lot of it was betting on potential. But I do think that they're gonna probably make the playoffs, be a wild card team. I don't think we see the Niners kind of from the earlier of this decade that are in this conversation for the Super Bowl every year. The Chiefs at 14 is crazy. It's crazy. This team's getting hated on because they were 6-11 last year. It was just an off year. Mahomes got hurt. The defense didn't play at a level that they should have. Rashee Rice wasn't there the whole year. Xavier Worthy wasn't what he was supposed to be. But they had a great draft. I think they had a top 5 draft. They filled 3 needs on defense that I think will really help them. Delane is a fantastic CB1. They traded up for him. He's going to fit that role that Trent McDuffie left. Peter Woods is a great pick for them at the end of the first round. He's got great potential. He's got great length. And he fits really well in this defense where he's going to be next to Chris Jones and that 3 tech, really wreaking havoc. And then they took R. Mason Thompson in the second round, who I really like. He's a great edge rusher. He's 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 really strong. He gets off the line quick, and the defense looks a lot better. And they need Reishi to stay healthy. They need Worthy to have a better year than he did last year. I love Xavier Worthy speed kills, but this is really kind of the year where, okay, is this first round pick we took on this guy worth it? He's so fast. They need to give him more routes down the field. They're using him a little bit too gadget wise sometimes. They aired it out to Hollywood Brown more. I don't know. I'd like Worthy, but Mahomes, if he stays healthy, this team is in the playoff conversation. With the additions that they made to the defense, the way that the season ended, I like the Chiefs next year. I don't think that they are maybe a top 5 team based off of this ranking, but they definitely should be higher than 14. The Jaguars. So the Jaguars are weird. Travis Hunter's not going to play wide receiver. You got Parker Washington. You got Brian Thomas Jr. You got a solid foundation at wide receiver. I don't know if they have that home run hitter. They lost Travis Etienne. That's kind of weird to say, but it is true. And if phonetically it looks right, it sounds French. Travis Etienne. He looks to be better than people think he is. He went over to New Orleans. They're going to miss him. Bashal Tutin's going to fill in. I think they're going to miss that void of a guy that can really just do everything for you. He's not fantastic at any one specific trait, but he's a really good running back. Tutin has great speed. That's about all he is at this point. I did like the Emmanuel Pregnon pick in the 3rd round. I had a first round grade on him. But yeah, they made some weird picks. They took a blocking tight end, Nate Borkermeyer, I believe is how you say his name. You don't take a blocking tight end at 59. It was a really good tight end class, by the way. But at 59, I don't know. Jaguars are weird. They're in this kind of fringe realm where do these teams make the playoffs or not. 16, we've got the Dallas Cowboys. You're super happy if you're a Cowboys fan. You got Caleb Downs with the 11th overall pick. He's a fantastic guy. If he was there at pick 5 and the Giants, wanted to do it in a different dimension, sign me up, man. He's so good. He does everything right. He's a leader. I love Caleb Downs, and the fact that he's going to be wearing that star on his helmet in Dallas really frustrates me. But let's talk about this team from a non-biased standpoint. I think the Cowboys are going to be competitive next year. My hot take is they're going to be better than the Eagles. I love Dak Prescott. I think he's underrated. The offense looks really good. Their O-line is solid. You've got Javonte Williams, who really had a resurgent last year. I think you're comfortable with him being your running back. Wide receivers are great. You've got probably the best 1-2 punch in the NFL with Pickens and Lamb. Their defense is where things were really bad last year. Their defense got better. It's still not perfect. They made some good signings. They, of course, took Malachi Lawrence at the back end of the 1st round, who I like a lot and doesn't get much love simply because he went to UCF. But I like the Cowboys for next year. I think I would maybe have them more in this 13 to 12 range than a couple of these other teams above them. 17, we've got the Bears. I think this is a little low for the Bears. Caleb Williams is the ultimate hot topic. Where do we rank him right now at QB-wise? He's a great player. He's still makes young mistakes, which are totally understandable, and every quarterback does them, but he does them at a level that just looks silly and does them at a level that you question, is this guy an elite QB? He makes crazy throws. He's got a fantastic arm. He can move around. Sometimes I think he does try to do too much and gets himself in situations that would simply, a 3-yard sack here is better, and then complete pass here is better than, taking an 8-yard sack, trying to run around, make moves. It's all admirable, but I think the Bears should be higher than this. You do lose DJ Moore. One of these receivers needs to step up, whether it's Burden or Dunze. Loveland looks like he might be the top receiving option. I really like that for him. Their defense looks great. They brought in Dylan Tyneman in the 1st round, who's a great player. I like the Bears. I don't think they are a top 10 team, but I do think they should be higher than this. 18, we've got the Minnesota Vikings. That is crazy to me that they're above the Buccaneers here. Kyler Murray's in the mix here. I honestly have no idea what we're going to see from Kyler. We haven't seen him play a lot recently. He started only a few games last year and didn't look great. The year before that, he looked good, but not great. He's not going to have Trey McBride anymore. The offense overall is better, of course, with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. I don't know what he is at this point in his career. But the O line is good. The defense is lackluster. It got better. They had a weird draft, though. They took Caleb Banks, I think, with the 18th pick here, which adds up, which was really rich. He's a great player. I like Banks. I think 18 was too high. I like the Vikings maybe in this 20 to 21 range. I think they're a little high here. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. Next pick, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bane at 15 might be the best pick in the draft. I think it's the best pick in the draft. He could have been a top 5 pick, and the fact that they got him at 19 was fantastic. He's going to fit really well in this defense, as in this 3-4 setup where he doesn't always have to play edge, and then he doesn't always have to play in the inside. He's really versatile. I think he's going to be in that 8+ sack range his first year. The offense is interesting. What is Baker going to look like? You lost Mike Evans. Can Igbuka return to the form that he had at the beginning of last year? I don't know if this team is a playoff team simply because they're in the NFC South. There's always that chance. I think the 19 to 20 range is a fair ranking for them. Okay, so the Steelers are weird. Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf are a decent wide receiver duo. The issue is who's going to play quarterback. It looks like at this point is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? I feel like he would have signed at this point. I don't know what's going on with him. They take Aller in the 3rd round, which does say something to me, especially when you have Will Howard. It makes me think that they're not expecting Rodgers to come back, because if you take a QB in the 3rd round, right, it's kind of insurance where, okay, I don't really know what I'm going to do next year at QB. We have Aller who flashed. He looked like he could be really good. Let's take him and see what he is. I think Drew Aller's going to start for them at quarterback this next year, and I think the Steelers are going to be bad. Their offense is fine, but with Aller in place, it's not good enough to be a maybe top 10 team. Their defense is good, but yeah, the Steelers are in an odd spot. I'm interested to see. Leave a comment down below. What pick do you guys think? Or excuse me, not what pick. Where do you guys think the Steelers are going to fall next year? Are they going to be competing for the AFC North? I don't know. Let me know. Pick 21, we've got the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts had a good draft. The issue is they didn't really do anything in free agency. Of course, you gave Alec Pierce a really lucrative deal. I think he's deserving of the money that he got, just where the market is right now. But can you trust Daniel Jones coming back off of a gnarly Achilles injury? Jonathan Taylor is great. He's going to do Jonathan Taylor things. The offensive line is good. Their offense is going to be good. The defense, I don't think, is good enough to propel this team to be at the top of the AFC South. 22, we've got the Commanders here. Sonny Styles is a great pick at 7. That's great value. He's great. That Ohio State defense last year is fantastic. Watching him and Arvell Reese wreak havoc every Saturday was fun to watch. These two up the middle just single-handedly stop teams. Styles is your traditional Mike linebacker, former safety. I love Sonny Styles. If he was there for the Giants at 10, it would have been instant. You pass up on him at 5 to get his teammate. I like the Antonio Williams signing too. I think he'll be an okay player out of the slot. He was thought of maybe to be a first-round guy before the year, and with the way Clemson went. But yeah, let's talk about the Panthers here. I like the Panthers, guys. I think they're going to compete for their NFC South championship. Shake Showard. But yeah, Bryce Young is good. The O-line is weird. I don't know. We're going to get going here because this video is getting long. Let's talk about my team for a little bit, though. Let's talk about the New York Football Giants. I know I got a Falcons hat on. Falcons are my second favorite team, but we're going to talk about the Giants. Offense looks good. Offense looks good. I'm really excited to see what Harbaugh does with Dart. Dart's got help. Neighbors is coming back. You've got Mooney, who I like. You've taken Malachi Fields in the third round, who I like. Big body, going to be the power forward. Defense is the question mark. The offense is going to be good. They looked at times last year really good. I don't think the offense is going to be the issue. It's the defense. They did a lot of things in the offseason to make sure that this defense is better. They have one hole. It's defensive tackle. They need to sign DJ Reader. They've been making little, they signed Shelby Harris. If we don't sign DJ Reader, this defensive line is going to be worst in the NFL by a long shot stopping the run. They were up there last year, and they had Dexter Lawrence. Arvell Reese should help with that. He's going to play inside linebacker. You've taken Colton Hood in the second round, who I think is going to be a starting boundary corner of the NFL day one. Love his celly, by the way. Look it up. He literally just puts a hood on. It's so cool. Let's talk about the Saints now. Saints are my pick to win the NFC South. I love Tyler Shuck. I think he's good. He's 26, but it's a good 26 because he's still athletic and he has that experience that a lot of these other young QBs have, or don't have, rather. Jordan Tyson at pick 8 is great value. He's going to help Chris Olave, and they're going to be a great 1-2 punch. I like what their offense is looking like. You bring in Travis Etienne. The defense is interesting. It has holes. Can you count on Cam Jordan? Can you count on a lot of these guys who are getting up there in age? I don't know. I still think they win the NFC South based off of what I think their offense is going to be. The defense is good enough. Tennessee Titans. Cornell Tate at 4 was a little early. You don't mess around there. You get your guy. You get your guy that you can pair with Wan'Dale Robinson and help out your young QB. I like the Keldrick Falk pick as well. He does a lot of really good things. He is a big dude. He doesn't have refined pass rush moves yet, but when he figures out how to use his length and strength, watch out, y'all. He's going to fit really well in the inside next to arguably the best D-tackle duo in the NFL and Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers. They brought in Cordell Flatt, who I like. I think the defense is going to be solid. I wouldn't be shocked if the Titans, win 6 or 7 games. I didn't even do that intentionally. But yeah, watch out for the Titans next year, guys. 27, we've got the Jets. That feels high. Geno Smith is going to be their starting quarterback next year. The Jets are really hoping that it's not Geno Smith of last year in the Raiders' absolute just debacle they had last year. This team is rebuilding. They've got a lot of first-round picks next year. They had a really good draft, though. You take your guy off the edge who you think is going to be the guy off the edge that can help win you games, get you 10-plus sacks a year. I like David Bailey. I don't think he should have been the second overall pick, but hey, I'm not an NFL GM. I like the Jets to be good in 3 years. Next year, no. Stand up ATL. Unfortunately, it's Bijan and friends. You've got a lot of different unfortunate cap situations that the Falcons have dealt with. You don't have Kirk Cousins anymore. They did take AJ Terrell's brother, Avion, who I do think was a really good pick. They're going to have chemistry up here, right? I think their secondary is okay. On offense, it's a question mark because it's either going to be Tua or Michael Penix, who I don't think you can feel comfortable with at this point. Drake London's great. Kyle Pitts had a resurgent year. Bijan is good. If they can get adequate QB play, their offense could be good. Their defense is too lackluster still. They're a few years away from doing something. We've got the Raiders here. The Raiders had a really good draft. Of course, they took Fernando Mendoza with the first pick. set in stone. Love Mendoza. I think Kirk's going to start week 1. It doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't get him if he doesn't do that. There's no way you pay this much money just to give a rookie QB some mentoring. I think it's a good idea, of course, but I don't think you dedicate millions of dollars to doing that. McCoy's a great player. Took him in the 4th round. Looks like he's going to be hopefully healthy on day 1. If he pans out, it's the best pick of the draft. The only issue is, do they have enough on offense? You got Genty. Genty's elite. You take Mike Washington in, I think it was the 3rd round. Good change of pace back, home run hitter. Is Brock Bowers and Genty enough on offense to propel you to, win games with the defense not being so hot? I don't think so. I still think they're a wide receiver two-way. They took some mid-round guys. But let's talk about the Cardinals next. I love Jeremiah Love. Who doesn't? Great player. He's gonna be good in Arizona. He's gonna get carries. Is Brissett the guy? Don't know. McBride, of course, is great. We need Marv to step up. Defense is lackluster. I don't think they're going to win very many games next year. The Browns, I don't really need to say too much about the Browns. I think Deshaun Watson, he can't be your QB. Enough said about that. Lastly, let's talk about the Dolphins real quick. They're getting not a lot of love thrown their way. Can we talk about the Chris Bell signing real quick, guys? I love Chris Bell. He's the best wide receiver in your wide receiving core right now, and that says something. A guy who has never played an NFL snap and who has a torn ACL is better than anything else they have. I am shocked that they did not take one earlier than they did. Their offense is going to be terrible. It's going to be Devon Achane get 25 touches a game. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been a minute here. Back here with another video. Comment below who you guys think is going to win the Super Bowl next year. I'll give you guys my top 3 picks right now. If I had to, pick 3 guys right now, no other choice. We're taking the Los Angeles Rams, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the New England Patriots as my top 3 teams to win the Super Bowl next year. Let me know what y'all think. It was good to see you guys. Hope y'all are doing well. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. God bless y'all.